This is the review for endocrine system. This picture, the first picture, you can see the different endocrine organs. Look at here. Here we have number 1, which is the hypothalamus, and number 2, which is the pituitary gland. So hypothalamus and pituitary gland. Here we have number 3, which is the pineal gland, and you don't need to know about it for this course. So we don't work with number 3. You can see number 4, which is the thyroid gland. It's located in our neck, cervical region. And in the back of the thyroid gland, we have 4 small glands, which are parathyroid glands. Number 6 is the thymus, and I will talk about it in in lymphatic system for you, not now. Here we have number 7 and number 8. Number 7 is the suprarenal gland or adrenal gland, and number 8 is the pancreas. We will work on the pancreas in digestive system, so only you need to know number 7. And number 9 and 10 are ovaries and testes in male and female, which we work on them in the reproductive system. So these are the different endocrine organs which we have in our body. And here you can see again number 2, which is the hypothalamus. Number 3 is the infundibulum, and we have number 1 and 4. Number 1 is located anterior. We call it anterior pituitary gland or adenohypophysis. And number 1 is located back or posterior. We call it posterior pituitary gland or neurohypophysis. So we have adeno and neurohypophysis in this picture. And this is the sella torsica of the sphenoid bone, which is the site for location of our pituitary gland. And here in this picture, you can see anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. For identification of anterior and posterior, you need to pay attention to the color. The anterior pituitary gland is colorful. I told you that we have 3 types of cells. One type of cell is basophilic. The color is blue. One type of cell is acidophilic, which the color is red, and one of them are chromophobe. They don't like color. They are colorless or pale. And the part which is paler is the neurohypophysis or posterior pituitary gland. We have many unmyelinated axon here and many glial cells in this region. The next organ is the thyroid organ. You can see thyroid gland here. The thyroid gland has a right lobe and left lobe. You can see number 1, which is right lobe, and number 5, which is left lobe. Right and left are connected together by 3, which is the isthmus. You don't need to know number 2. Number 2 is the thyroid cartilage, and this is a part of our larynx or voice box. You will learn about it later. And number 3 is the trachea. On the back of our thyroid gland, you can see 4 small glands. These 4 small glands are parathyroid glands, which are located on the back of thyroid. Here is the right lobe. This is the left lobe. Here you can see the isthmus, and number 8 is one of the parathyroid gland. When you want to work on the histology of thyroid and parathyroid, you see something like this. Our thyroid gland has many follicles. These structures are called follicles. The follicles are composed of follicular cells. These are follicular cells. The follicles contain colloid, the pinkish material fluid inside. And between the follicles, we have a group of cells which we call them parafollicular or C cells. And here you can see the parathyroid gland. Let me show you bigger thyroid. Here you can see the thyroid gland, you can see the follicle. Here you have number 3, which are the follicular cells. You can see number 4, which are parafollicular cells. And number 5, which we have here, is the colloid. And here in this picture, you can see the adrenal glands or suprarenal glands, which are located on the top of our kidneys. Here is the adrenal gland, right adrenal and left adrenal gland. And in this picture, you can see the section through the adrenal gland. You can see the cortex of the adrenal, which is number 5, and the medulla, which is number 6. And the adrenal gland is covered and protected by a capsule from outside. This is a capsule of connective tissue which cover our organ from outside. And as I told you before, our adrenal gland, the cortex of the adrenal gland, has 3 layers. The first layer, which is number 8, is called zona glomerulosa. The next layer, which is number 9, and the thickest layer, is called zona fasciculata. And the last layer, which is number 10, is zona reticularis. Zona glomerulosa can make aldosterone, which works with the electrolyte and ions in our body. The next zone, which is the zona fasciculata, is important for secretion of cortisol, corticosterone. It works with our metabolism. And number 10, or zona reticularis, can make androgens. And number 11 here, is the medulla of the adrenal gland. And the medulla is important for secretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine, which are the fight or flight hormones. At the time of exercise, excitement, and emergency, your adrenal gland starts to make epinephrine and norepinephrine. This part is a part of our sympathetic division in our body. So this is about the endocrine system. Any questions here?